The night that should have been the most beautiful celebration of my marriage turned into the night I finally saw the truth with my own eyes. Our 10th wedding anniversary. I had spent months planning the evening, a beautiful ballroom, a live band, candlelit tables, and the people who mattered most in our lives gathered to celebrate a decade of love. I wanted it to be magical, a reminder of the promises Daniel and I had made 10 years earlier. I walked into the hall wearing a dress I had chosen carefully, one that made me feel radiant. I remember scanning the room, my heart swelling with pride. Everyone seemed happy, the music was soft, and laughter floated in the air. It felt perfect, until it didn't. The band began playing a slow, romantic song, and Daniel, my husband, walked onto the dance floor. I expected him to stretch out his hand to me. Instead, he turned toward her. Her name was Claire, a coworker of his I had met a handful of times. She was always a little too warm, her compliments a little too sweet, but I pushed my suspicions aside. I told myself I was being paranoid, insecure. After all, I trusted Daniel. Or at least, I thought I did. But that night, under the glow of chandeliers, Daniel pulled Claire into his arms. They danced close, whispering, laughing, their movements intimate in a way that cut me to the bone. Guests began whispering, their eyes darting from the floor to me. The humiliation burned hotter than fire. I stood there frozen, champagne glass trembling in my hand. My heart pounded so loudly it drowned out the music. And then it hit me. The man I had loved, sacrificed for, and built a life with was not only betraying me, he was flaunting it in front of everyone on the night meant to honor us. I could have stormed onto the dance floor. I could have created a scene. But instead, I quietly set my glass down, forced a smile, and carried myself with dignity. Inside, I was crumbling, but no one, not even Daniel, was going to see me beg for respect I already deserved. When the party ended, Daniel came home as if nothing had happened. He smelled of champagne and perfume that wasn't mine. I tucked myself into bed, my mind racing. But by morning, I was no longer a broken wife, I was a woman with a plan. At sunrise, I woke before him, walked through the house we had built together, and saw everything with new eyes. Every picture on the wall, every piece of furniture, every little detail held a memory. And yet, none of it could hide the fact that this home had become a cage of lies. So I acted. While Daniel slept, I gathered his clothes, his shoes, and every trace of him into suitcases. One by one, I carried them to the front lawn. My neighbors, sipping coffee on their porches, watched in silence. When the last bag hit the ground, I locked the door. By the time Daniel stumbled out of bed, I was sitting calmly at the kitchen table with a cup of coffee. He rubbed his eyes and frowned. "What's all this?" I looked him straight in the eye and said, "You danced with your mistress at our anniversary party. By morning, you're no longer my husband. And by the looks of it, you're also homeless." His jaw dropped. He stammered, tried to explain, tried to downplay what had happened. But I didn't flinch. For years, I had given him second chances, excuses, grace he never deserved. That chapter of my life was over. He stormed outside, cursing, but the locked door behind him was the final line drawn. In the days that followed, I leaned on the people who truly cared, my sister, my closest friends, and even a few of the guests who had witnessed the betrayal. The pity in their eyes quickly turned into admiration when they realized I wasn't retreating into despair, I was rebuilding. It wasn't easy. Nights were long. Tears came in waves. But for every moment of pain, there was a moment of clarity. I had not lost myself, I had found myself. For the first time in years, I was living on my terms. Months later, I signed the divorce papers with steady hands. I redecorated the house, replacing old photos with new ones of me smiling, of family who stood by me, of travels I took alone. Slowly, my home became mine again. Not a monument to betrayal but a sanctuary of strength. And when people asked me how I managed to stay so composed through such humiliation, I told them the truth. I remembered that love should never cost you your dignity. The moment it does, it's no longer love, it's captivity. So yes, my husband danced with his mistress on our wedding anniversary. It was the cruelest gift he could have given me. But by morning, he was homeless, and I was free. And if you're listening to this story feeling trapped, overlooked, or broken, remember, you deserve love that lifts you, not love that shatters you. Sometimes the end of one chapter is the beginning of the story you were meant to write all along.